Hello, everyone. This is the Highlander Wrestling Show again. I hope everybody enjoyed my last video on the loot box and the Roddy Piper retro figure, which, like, again, I'd like to say thank you, Patrick, and thank you, Wrestling Loot Box. You always have good stuff. Um, I'm going to talk about WWE in general now. And, almost failed. Oh, I'm sorry, folks. I almost had something fail. Um, WWE, I hate to see what has happened to the WWE, which I don't really know what all the true details are and everything, which I hate to see anything happen with the company because I grew up watching it. There's so many members I have of watching that company, the McMahon company, all the way to back in the 80s. When I started watching, it was only two or three WrestleManias. Saturday night main event, Tuesday night Titans. That's what I started watching. Saturday morning cartoon, the Hook Hogan Rock and Wrestling, which was always fun to watch. They've had WWE has had, I mean, all kind of historical events. Well, as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're the ones that really started doing that whole mixed, well, what we would call now mixed martial arts. You know, you had WWF had their own at one time world martial arts champion wrestling title belt. Torio Inoki was the first one to hold that title. He was in the ring with people in WWF like I think he was in the ring with he was. So he was in the ring with Bruno Sammartino, Bob Backlund, I believe superstar Billy Graham. I know Andre the Giant. Well, he's been in a lot of the rings with a lot of the NWA wrestlers like Harley Race, Terry Funk, Ric Flair. He's been in the ring with Muhammad Ali, which, in my opinion, he won that match. But that, but anyway, like I was saying, WWF had some pretty big time historical events like, well, you had the Undertaker versus Mankind at the Hell in the Cell when he threw Mankind off the top of the, or Mick Foley, we know him as now, off the top of the Hell in the Cell uh, cage, and he landed on the announcement table. Hulk Hogan did the so-called slam heard around the world, which he was not the first person to body slam Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant had a lot of people who body slammed him. That he only let certain people body slam the ones that he respected in life. Oh, let's see. He had the night when Chris Jericho beat The Rock and Stone Cold the same night to win the world title. Oh, you had let's see, you had The Undertaker when he did the first Buried Alive match. Um, Bret Hart did I hate the whole thing they did with the Montreal screw job because it was just, I mean, I don't know. It's just something that just, they beat it down they beat that horse to death. That horse ain't gonna walk no more. That dog ain't gonna hunt no more either. But anyway, that was, a big deal back then. I remember that. Let's see, they had the nightstick match with Big Boss Man versus Nails. That was at the Survivor Series. I'm trying to remember which Survivor Series it was. I know it was way back in the early '90s. That was a good match for what the type of match it was. You had the yeah, and you had it was on the Super Tape Volume 2, I believe. It was either Volume 2 or Volume 3, where it was Brutus the Barber Beefcake and Hulk Hogan versus Randy Macho Man Savage and Zeus, along with along with Sensational Sherry in a steel cage match, which was a great match because it was just, it had those mega stars in there. Zeus was in No Hose Bar. He also played Debo and Friday and all that. So, I mean, he was a big man. Great villain. He played Zeus to the T. They could have found nobody else that could do Zeus no better than him. Uh, let's see, what else? Oh, yeah, and they had the first Battle Royal they had at WrestleMania was at WrestleMania 2, which Andre the Giant won, which was a great, that's before they even had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania. He won the first one at WrestleMania 2. The two, it was him and Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart were the three last men in that Battle Royal. Andre threw Jim the Anvil Neidhart out first, then he caught Bret Hart on the top rope and had him in one arm and then threw him on top of Jim Neidhart to win the Battle Royal. That's something I will never forget. That was just a cool, they had all the NFL superstars in it, William Refrigerator Perry, and I can't remember who all the other football, but I don't ever watch football, so I don't really know that. But all I know was William Refrigerator Perry. Oh yeah, and it had Roddy Piper versus Mr. T in a boxing match, which was, that was not a well thought through match. They could have done a lot more than what they did with it, but at the same time, it was a great, it was historical. It's down in the history books. I mean, it was still good for what it was. I mean, they could have done a little bit, build up. What I'm trying to say, they could have done a few little extras to help with it. You had Elvira was at WrestleMania too. Saint Sinclair, I think is how you say her name. She was there with Vince McMahon talking. Of course, he had the great Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura and all of them. At WrestleMania 1, the opening match was Tito Santana versus the Executioner, which was a good match. Um, you had WrestleMania 3, which one of my most favorite match out of WrestleMania 3 was when it was Hillbilly Jim with his partner Little Beaver and I don't remember what the other little man's name was that was in there, and they faced King Kong Bundy and his two partners, which was a good match. Everybody talks about the uh, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Randy Savage match was supposed to be the greatest WrestleMania 3 match, one of them of all time, which I disagree with that. It was the one that had the most pinfalls in it at the time, but that wasn't one of Macho Man's best matches, in my opinion. I mean, I never was a Ricky the Dragon Steamboat fan. He was all right. Uh, but now WrestleMania 4 was really cool because it had a tournament who was going to become the world heavyweight champion, which the Macho Man went through everybody. He went through One Man Game, the Natural Butch Reed, I think Greg the Hammer Valentine. Oh, you see, you had, let's see, you had WrestleMania 5 where Hogan versus the Macho Man for the world title, which Hogan won. You had Man, like I said, there was a lot of great moments WWF had. I mean, a lot of people may not like WWF even back then. They was all about, Ric Flair, Harley Race, which, if that's your cup of tea, fine. But me, I was a WWF, AWA, Mid South, the Texas style wrestling. I like them. Canadians, style wrestling. I was all into that. Oh, I mean, well, as a matter of fact, I remember when Sheamus was the first Irish born to become World Heavyweight Champion in WWF, or at that time it was WWE, or at that time it became WWE, which was a great historical moment in my opinion because I'm Scots Irish, and Even though was never born there or ever been there, I'm still, still fun to know that. You had men that was like the Junkyard Dog, great, in my opinion, one of the greatest African American pro wrestlers there is. He's one of them. Kutuko Scorpio's in there with him. I can put Ron Simmons in there with him. And the Kamala was a unique individual in the ring. The Uganda Giant, which he was cool to watch because he was just nothing. I ain't never seen nobody like him. You had the great Kabuki, which was cool because he used to spew out the green mist. He was the first one to do that. He had his fingers taped up like they were some kind of distorted claws. He was cool. You had the Great Muta, which was kind of like the Great Kabuki, but I like the Great Kabuki better. Now we got Asuka, which I love Asuka. She's cool. She did the Green Mist there for a little bit. Tajiri did the Green Mist. He was a good Japanese wrestler, which I love the Japanese wrestlers. Rey Mysterio and all of them was some of my favorite Mexican style wrestlers like Hector Guerrero, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio were always some of my favorite. One they called Heavy Metal, he was cool. He was part of the the AAA wrestling. You had guys like let's see, I'm trying to remember who else. Oh yeah, Silver King. He was cool. He was all over. He really. I don't think he. I think he became in the WF a few times, like everybody else I just named off. Oh, let's see. Oh, they was a rumor. I ain't never been able to find it, or if I had, I don't know if I looked it up like I'm supposed to. But anyway, it was Andre the Giant versus Bruiser Brody. I've been trying to find that match. I don't think I've got. I hadn't seen it, or if I have, I not forgot about it because I've seen so much through the years. I've been watching this for over 30 something years wrestling since 1986. Uh, but after a while, you kind of forget some things until you see it, and it jars your memory. Let's see. There was some other cool. Demento was another cool WWF wrestler for the new generation. I don't know exactly what he was supposed to actually be, but he was, he was cool considering, it was original. Now the one that they didn't, that they had a lot of potential with this character, but I think they could have picked out a better outfit and a better way of going about promoting him was the Minotaur. I remember even they had a little monk guy that was a wrestler. I'm trying to remember what I remember it was the monk something monk. Anyway, he was cool. I remember I was so excited when wrestling became Monday nights. I was so used to seeing it on Saturday nights and Tuesday nights and stuff like that. Renting VHS tapes at the video store, which kids nowadays don't know nothing about a video store no more. It was on VHS tapes, video stores and stuff. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. Uh, like I said, keep an eye out for Battle Zone Championship Wrestling. Keep an eye out for C Star's new promotion. Keep up. Keep an eye out for my new videos. As I keep, hopefully I can keep up with now and everything. And I hope everybody out there had a great day. And keep your eye out for Ultimo Gallows videos. I want to have a shout out to my friend Patrick for that cool retro WWE retro figure of the Rowdy Piper. Uh, he always says he came here to chew bubblegum and kick butt, and he's all out of bubblegum. Great line. And I want to, oh yeah, on my other video, I forgot to mention Jesse the Body Ventura, excuse me. He had his 71st birthday, I believe, this July the 15th. And I want to wish you a happy birthday, Mr. Ventura. And I hope everybody out there has a great weekend. Keep cool out of this July weather. I'll be turning 39 soon. I'm trying to keep cool, so y'all have a great. Thank you.